service of CNC Worldwide.
The Daily is a service of CNC News and Jib Jab Greetings. I'm Bud Lowell. The full AccuWeather forecast is right across the top of every CNC local news page. That forecast is for plenty of heat and humidity to start this week. It's settled in over the weekend, and as a result, the city of Rochester is holding the first cool sweep of the summer Monday. To help with relief from the heat, the city is opening fire hydrants at School 22 and School 41, plus several of the city rec centers. Extended hours are in for the spray parks, the city pools, and Durand Eastman Beach, which open for swimming Sunday. A Bermuda high is pushing this heat and humidity into upstate New York, and it is here to stay for a while. Severe thunderstorms moved south of Rochester Sunday, missed us completely, but put enough rain onto Allegheny and Cattaraugus counties to flood out some roads. Buffalo Bills Hall of Famer Jim Kelly won't need to have either radiation or chemotherapy following his successful cancer surgery earlier this month. The Bills' webpage says this morning Kelly announced at his annual football camp that he is cancer-free following surgery. That means he can avoid chemo, which Kelly had been hoping for all along. Kelly announced on June 3rd that he had cancer in his upper jaw. It was removed a week later, and Kelly had reconstructive surgery at the same time. 2 men are dead after an overnight shooting in Rochester. Police say the victims got involved in some sort of a fight early Monday morning in a parking lot across from Club Network. At some point, a third man pulled a gun and the shooting broke out. Both victims, who were 27 and 31 years old, were pronounced dead at Strong Memorial Hospital. Both victims were found in separate locations, one on each side of the Cumberland Street Post Office near the downtown Amtrak station. That area is covered by a number of security cameras. Police are reviewing that footage, and they also spent the night interviewing people who were at the club. The names of the victims haven't been released, but police don't believe this was a random shooting. They're asking anyone with information to call 911. The Seneca County Sheriff's Office has identified the man shot to death in his home early Sunday as 61-year-old William Kenny. Sheriff Jack Stenberg says Kenny, who lived alone, was shot several times in the bedroom of his home on Hecker Road near the village of Waterloo. His neighbors heard gunshots about 2:45 in the morning and called 911. Kenny was taken to Geneva General Hospital and pronounced dead there. The sheriff says this is the first homicide in the town of Waterloo in years. His deputies and state police are investigating. The sheriff says he has no comment on possible motives, but he said earlier this was not a random shooting. Governor Cuomo was visiting Monroe Community College Monday, talking up his plan to establish a tax-free business development zone on college campuses. Meanwhile, the governor announced this morning that Time Warner Cable is building a new call center to handle its business class customers in Buffalo. The center is expected to be open by the end of the year and employ another 150 people. Time Warner has more than 10,000 employees across New York State. Democrats on the Monroe County Legislature have introduced a proposed law restricting the gifts county officials are allowed to accept. It goes to a hearing on Monday evening at a committee meeting. The current law prohibits county employees and officials from receiving gifts exceeding a value of $25 if it could be reasonably inferred the gift is intended to influence them. Democrat Josh Bowroth, who represents parts of Rochester, Brighton, and Henrietta, introduced the legislation. He says there should be a clear prohibition on accepting any gifts from those with an interest in county business. And the U.S. Attorney's Office says a Rochester man has pleaded guilty to charges of filing false tax returns after failing to report $5 million earned by his tree service. Patrick Dandria, who's 55, pleaded guilty on 2 counts, each carrying a maximum of 3 years in prison and a $100,000 fine. The prosecutor says Dandria won a contract from Erie County in 2006 to remove damaged trees and branches following a severe storm. He received more than $5 million in payments from the county and didn't report any of it on his 2006 or 7 returns. He owes the IRS $460,000 plus $265,000 in penalties, and he'll be sentenced September 26th. To the left of the player window, you'll find links to these and other stories, and at the bottom of the page, links you can use to post news and information directly to us. Next podcast is As It Happens. Updates are as necessary. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.